I'm Rob Port from SayAnythingBlog.com. I'm here with Mr. Jake Werner. Mr. Werner, who is a retired U.S. Marshal, was accused recently by KFGO and I guess the Joel Heitkamp show and some others of being involved with some campaign signs that were put up in the Fargo area that had juxtaposed Heidi Heitkamp's name with Barack Obama's name. They were placed all over the city. Some of them were placed illegally on public property. And Mr. Werner was identified, and a picture of his vehicle with the license plate showing was posted on the KFGO News website. And he was accused of having put up those signs. And I wanted to get in touch with Mr. Werner and talk with him about this this issue. Mr. Werner, thanks for your time.
It's great to talk to you.
I wanted to first ask you what were you doing, because the accusation is that you were out and you were putting up campaign signs, and they said that you were responsible, or one of the people responsible, for the Obama Heitkamp signs. Now what you've told me so far, or what you told me before we started this interview, was that you were actually out and you were dealing with campaign signs, but you were dealing with official Rick Berg campaign signs in the Fargo area. Why don't you describe to us what you were doing that day?
Well, first, I'd just like to say I'm not a retired U.S. Marshal. I'm a retired Deputy U.S. Marshal. There's a significant difference.
Okay.
But with regard to the signs, Roger, Tim, and I met about 8:30 in the morning yesterday. We were directed by the Berg campaign to repair some 4x8 signs. That's 4 foot by 8 foot signs that had pretty much blown over, and so that's what we were doing, and we started on University right across from the Cousins store and repaired a 4x8 sign there. When we were finished with that, probably between 9 and 9:30, we drove south to the Woodrow Wilson School on University, where we repaired a second 4x8 sign. While we were putting up the sign, a car pulled up on University, and the fellow said that did we know that it was illegal to put up signs on public property? And Roger Tim told him that the property that we were working on was privately owned and that we had permission to put up the sign. And my pickup was parked legally in the parking lot just east of the Woodrow Wilson School. And right after this fellow left, I noticed a light gray, like a haze gray, late model Suburban pull into the parking lot right behind my pickup. And when I saw the photo on the KFGO website, I realized that they were the ones that took the photo. And I guess what I was kind of surprised is if they thought that we were doing something improper, why didn't they take a picture of us? Well, I mean, they could see us putting up the sign on, or working on the sign on the fence. Why didn't they take a picture of us rather than the pickup, or both? But anyway, when we were finished with the sign at Woodrow Wilson School, we drove further south on University, south of I-94, and repaired a sign down there just off of University, just north of 32nd Street. And we drove down 32nd Street just west of I-29 and repaired 4 Berg signs over there. Now, all of the signs that we worked on were 4x8s. We didn't put up any new signs, and that was pretty much it. And we were done before noon.
So, and to be clear, at Woodrow, they accused you at Woodrow Wilson, or whoever it was that pulled up and talked to you, accused you of putting up signs on public property at Woodrow Wilson School, but that property is now privately owned, as you described. Now, when you were after this all happened, you saw the picture of your vehicle on the KFGO website. What happened from there? I mean, what else did I? And from my understanding, they had released your phone number, your home address. They had mentioned your wife's name. Describe to us what happened.
Well, we heard about. Now, I hadn't seen any of these signs or heard anything about all of that until after I'd gotten home, and my wife actually listened to the Joel Heitkamp. Oh, my wife saw it on the forum, I should say. She's sitting here next to me, and so she asked me about it, told me about it, and then she actually listened to the the radio show and heard them throw my name around. They mentioned her name. Either they or someone who called in apparently had Googled my name and noted that I was associated with the North Dakota Knights of Columbus and that my phone number and address was there. Apparently the radio show said that through their sources, and they didn't name them, they'd gotten my license plate information and they told them what my name was and my wife's name, and then they apparently kind of associated it again with their first story about how I was a U.S. Marshal making commercials on behalf of Rick Berg.
Now that was something that I had written about on the blog previously, was that you did appear in a Rick Berg commercial along with your title as a deputy U.S. Marshal, retired, which was clearly indicated in the ad that you were retired. And that was something, and KFGO was the only media outlet to report this, but they reported that there was some sort of an investigation going on into your appearance in that commercial and whether or not it was proper for a former federal employee to be in there. Were you ever contacted as a part of any investigation about that?
I was not.
So as far as you know, there is no investigation, or to the best of your knowledge?
Well, if there is, like I say, no one's ever called me. Now, the Fargo Police Department did call me yesterday after I got home. In fact, it was in the afternoon with regards to the illegal signs that had been put up. And I don't recall the officer's name, but he just said that they'd been provided this photo, and he wouldn't say who provided the photo of the back of my pickup truck, and that that we'd been that my pickup truck apparently was associated with these illegal signs that had gone up the night before, and I explained that my pickup was at home, and they wanted to know if maybe our kids could have done that. And our kids are all grown and out of the house, so there are no kids here with us. It's just Deb and I. And I know my pickup was parked out in front of our house all night. So then he asked, well, were you in town in the morning? And so I went through the same litany I just went with you about how Roger and I started around 8:30 and so on, and that we were on University, and he was familiar with all the signs that we'd worked on, and that was pretty much it. But I did get a call from the Fargo Police Department.
Now, one other aspect of this that's a little bit, I guess it was troubling to me when I heard it, was, that they're putting your private information out there, and you are a retired law enforcement officer. I suspect, like any law enforcement officer, you dealt with some pretty nasty people. As a matter of fact, as I understand it, at one point you escorted Timothy McVeigh, probably one of the worst domestic terrorists this country has ever seen. So did it trouble you that a lot of this personal information about you and your wife was being put out publicly, and in a very, I suppose, heated political environment?
Well, it really does trouble me that they would be willing to be so irresponsible to put this information out there. I mean, my wife and I have tried to be very careful to limit the kind of information that's out there. We get our bills sent to a post office box, and our telephone number is unlisted. And through my career, I started in 1985, and I retired with 30 years from the Marshal Service. I have arrested a ton of really bad people, and certainly there's always that concern that someone over time might harbor ill will or bad feelings and want to take some sort of revenge. And so I think it's prudent for any law enforcement officer to try and limit as much information as they can, just to make sure that their families are safe. And here, this radio station is just throwing this information out with apparently very little thought process, or just don't even care that it could cause real damage.
Have you thought about pursuing any sort of legal action about the matter?
Well, we are exploring those options. We're going to contact an attorney. I think that's the prudent thing to do, and these folks shouldn't just assume that they can put this kind of information out there, tell these kinds of total untruths and lies without expecting anything in any repercussions. I mean, it's totally irresponsible. It's absolutely not the kind of investigative journalism that you'd expect in our country today. I mean, this is just a terrible thing, and if in fact what they said and what they've done rose to the level that we can sue on, then we certainly will.
Mr. Werner, thank you very much for your time.